Welcome to today's reading. Today we're doing a channel message from Spirit, just a little update. I know it's been a couple of days, but here we are getting to it. Today we have three groups to choose from. We have group 1 with the Hematite heart and the Crow tarot. We have group 2 with the light Seers tarot and the Lemurian seed quartz. And we have group 3 with the Waite tarot and the Rhodochrosite piece. I might just actually take a second to show you. It's the Hematite. We don't have the best lighting today. It's pretty gloomy out. Like, it's really overcast and raining here a lot at the moment. So apologies in advance for that. But I do feel like sometimes when I turn the actual lights on in the room, it's like so fluorescent, and it can be kind of overwhelming while we're trying to do this. So this is what we're working with, but that's okay. All right, hoping everybody's doing well. We're going to start off with group 1. Welcome group 1. If you chose the Crow Tarot and the Hematite heart, then this is your reading for today. I just want to take a moment before we get into the cards to talk about the crystal. So the relevant messages that I'm getting from the Hematite today is like a depth of strength and courage and character development, and just kind of being tough and grounded at the same time. So it's like an element of having to, maybe you've gone through some hard things, and you just sort of have to dig deeper in ways you didn't realize that you could before, or that you just, I guess you've never had to, right? You didn't think it was possible, you never thought you'd have to, or you didn't know how to, and now you do. And then, yeah. Oh, just trying to maintain being grounded throughout these tough times, okay? All right, so we'll start with the tarot. There we go. Oh. So we have the Two of Pentacles. I'm just immediately getting it's like a struggle to find or keep balance. We have, what's that? The Eight of Wands. I feel like it's whatever your situation is where you're struggling to find or keep, that's why I'm not doing that, to find or keep balance. You really just need to be trying like anything and everything that you can and just sort of seeing what sticks. We've just had a bunch jump out, so I'll grab those. Okay. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. I'm just hearing with this Two of Pentacles, it's just like you're trying to achieve equilibrium, or that's what you should be trying to achieve. I'm hearing like it's a balance of osmosis within your inner world. Internal world within the mind and the feelings and emotions. And I'm just hearing it's been a little bit rough, but you can get there. You just have to keep going. And with this Eight of Wands here, I don't know why, I just like, because I don't normally take cards in reversal unless I'm guided to, like intuitively guided to. And normally it is like trying to see what sticks, but I'm getting that the red and yellow is really important here, and it's almost like the sense of a death and a rebirth coming through. So I do wonder if it's almost like putting to rest the things that you've been trying to do. Let's see if I can get a bit of it. I'm just hearing finding your way home is going to take time, okay? So Maybe trying to find that equilibrium is going to take time. So maybe it is a case like you do keep trying these different things, but they're just not going to happen as quickly as we would like them, and we need to maybe have a little bit more patience with ourselves and the process. And there's probably not much more we can do outside of that. And I'm hearing that we're basically just waiting for this cycle to end. Okay, I'm getting a funny thing about we're just waiting to step into, or you're about to step into, or you're waiting to step into like your premium goddess era. Prima goddess era, I'm not sure. Something about a goddess era anyway. Okay, so for those of you that resonates with, and you know, goddess or not, you can still be a male or in a masculine, embodying a masculine energy, and you know, take it as it applies. Okay, take it as it resonates. Basically it just means that the gender doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm hearing that after this period of time, like after you step into this era or in this old cycle that you have been in, you'll be, what is it? You'll be stepping into your power, but you need to be making sure that you lift your game to be able to, like, I guess, ensure that this happens, or to give it the possibility of aligning. So you need to lift your game. Oh, and bring your fire. Okay, so that's... Just taking a moment to see if I can get something through here, because I'm kind of getting a couple words at once and they're blending together and I'm not really getting any of them. I do feel like courage or courageousness, if that's even a word, is trying to come through. At least courageous anyway, being courageous. Let's see. I'm just getting like courage, strength and power, willpower, something about forthright will. Okay, they're highlighting the lions, which I feel like has been a big theme throughout the card already, but they're saying anything that makes, like anything that comes to mind when you think of a lion, like in their nature and their character and the strengths that they possess, is what we're looking at or looking for. And that's what they want you to bring to the table. Yeah, so it's like a quiet sense of confidence, knowing and trusting in your own strength. But I guess a lion isn't going to sit back and let people walk all over them. They're going to keep everybody in line, because it's like if they wanted to sort a situation out, they would, and everyone knows that they can. So maybe you have been living or coming from a place where you are trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though they do something that's clearly, like very clearly defined, like just not right. Or it was like, I guess, I don't know if I want to say malicious, but like there was an underlying malice there. I think you've just been too nice, okay? So, yeah. I'm just getting like enacting your power. So that's what you need to do, is step into that enacting your power. And then you can move on, basically. It'll be like onwards and upwards to the next thing after that. So I feel like this might end up taking up this might just be like the next chapter of your journey, okay? So it's like where you've started out has been trying to achieve some sort of balance, or you have already been working on that, I guess, and just trying different things to get there, but just needing to have a little bit more patience with yourself. It's not all going to happen overnight. At this point, we're more or less waiting for this cycle to end, or the new cycle to start, to step into the quote-unquote goddess era. But you need to be able to lift your game. Like, you need to be able to bring more to the table than what you have so far, and it'll help you stand in your power. But I feel like it's, you know, it's sort of like a what's the word, like a duality, where it's almost a symbiosis between the two, where they go together, where it's like you need to step into your power and make sure you aren't being taken advantage of people. Like, if someone crosses a boundary, you enact and maintain the boundary, and you don't let yourself be walked on from anyone. Even if you could give them the benefit of the doubt, you've got to make a decision in that moment. Was what they did hurtful, or was what they did, like, respectful, I guess? If you're ever struggling to try to define when or where it is and isn't okay, if we can look at it from a level of respect without ego, if that makes sense. So a person that is respectful to you isn't going to push things onto you. They're not going to try to manipulate you, okay? But without ego. So just because we feel like someone's not maybe like, I'm trying to think of like a better way to say it, but I just don't have that vocabulary. If somebody is being nice to us to get things from us, like if somebody is sucking up to us, I guess, we don't need people to be bending over head over heels, doing all this stuff for us to show us a level of respect. A level of respect can just be that they just, it's just respect. Okay, so I feel like, do I need to do any more there? Okay, I feel like you guys get the point at this point. Okay. But maybe that, like, I don't know if I'd call it like a confused energy, but it's maybe just like working out within yourself, like, well, is this what the power is, or is this the balance, or is this the respect, or what does that actually look like, and what am I okay with? And what maybe you just realize that when you've been giving people the benefit of the doubt, that it comes from a place of like trying to demonstrate that you are a good person, but at the end of the day, everyone else can see what they've done and what you've done, and they can see that you haven't actually done anything to provoke this, or to ask for it or engage in it in any way necessarily. So when this person does something to you, and then you just go, oh, well, give them the benefit of the doubt, and you're trying to demonstrate coming from a place of sincerity, it's like kind of, I guess it sends a signal to other people that maybe it's not as sincere as what your true nature is, or as what you're intending it to be, because they know that you know better. They know, like, I guess these people, I feel like you have some good people around you, but I also feel like they're smart and they have good insights, and maybe for a lack of a better expression again, maybe playing dumb for you has been a safety or mechanism or defense mechanism in the past, and if you have been around really manipulative people previously, just some tumultuous situations and circumstances, then it's probably like was one of the best things that you could have done for yourself at the time. But it's one of those things that it no longer serves us, and it's time to actually own our boundaries. And where it's like it's a whole new level of stepping into your power that maybe you just didn't have that capacity for when you were younger, or previously in the different situations that have come across your path so far. So now is really the time to step up, okay? And then as soon as this is just giving me the energy of this is just going to be just a different lesson coming through, something that you'll spend a little bit of time and energy here, Just try to be mindful, try to stay grounded during this process. Ultimately, I feel like you're going to do really well with it anyway. I sort of get the sense that maybe you do really well with most things that you set out to do anyway, even if it doesn't feel like it, or you know, just because we don't have that. I do sort of get the feeling of being a little bit worried about like what other people think, or not worried about it, but just like it's a hard habit to break when we're sort of brought up or conditioned to care so much about what other people think, or to maintain a, what is it, like an image as per se. Yeah, because it's that whole having to demonstrate that you're a sincere person. You don't have to demonstrate that. People can see it and they know. And then, yeah. Okay, I feel like I'm just getting really caught up in it. So yeah, definitely try to stay grounded throughout this time. Fantastic things you can do to stay grounded is you can spend time outdoors in nature. You can do things that are restful or restorative, where you're looking after yourself in really gentle, nurturing, feminine ways. You can also do things like breath work, meditation, energy healing. Maybe you go to someone for a Reiki session or something like that, or kinesiology or something. What else can we do? I don't know, there's quite a few different things, but I mean, meditation's a fantastic one. You can work with certain crystals. Usually any of the earthy colored crystals is a good way to go. So it can be the black crystals, the brown crystals, or the red crystals. Yeah, I don't know, I guess everyone's a little bit different, so you'll have to feel what you're drawn to and see if you get a sense of what is not too light or not too heavy for you. But I do think that the hematite is a good key indicator here for a crystal that would be lovely to work with. It almost does naturally have like I guess an off polychrome sort of finish to it naturally. This one's been weathered really quite a lot from like water and whatnot, so it doesn't really have the silvery finish to it. But I guess it's a metal color, and metal is still found within the earth as well, so it's also quite grounding in that sense. But hematite, just as a fun fact, as far as I understand it, it's basically the same as it's what is the magnetive, one of the magnetive minerals in the earth that we help actually connect to energetically, that does help ground us when it is occurring in nature. Okay, I'm hoping I've got that out in a half reasonable manner, but okay, anything else here? Oh, they're also wanting me to point out that even like underneath its silvery finish that naturally occurs, it's kind of just dirt colors. Like there's a lot of browns and just different shades of browns, really. So not that you would maybe be able to tell in this light today. I might I'll just write the name of the crystal anyway, and you can always search for it on the internet, because I feel like there'll be a couple of you that will be specifically interested in that. It would be fantastic if you could either carry this crystal on you in the times that you need more grounding, or if you can do some meditative work with it, just hold it in your hands and work with the crystal would be lovely. Hematite's one of my all-time favorites. It's got so many good, like, I want to say properties, but I mean, there's so many ways that hematite can help us that we can work with it that are just so beneficial, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like it's one of those crystals that probably is a little bit underrated or underestimated, and it doesn't get enough recognition. I feel like hematite should be up there across the board with like the rose quartz and the amethyst and carnelian, like the things that are all really well known, because it's there's just so much you can do with it. Anyway, okay, anything else? No. All right, so we're done with the tarot for the moment. So we're going to take another card. We're going to take a card from the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle. See if we can extend on this energy. So just in case we'd missed it at all, this very much seems like your current journey in your inner world. There we go. Oh, we have Jupiter. I believe Jupiter is expansion or expansive. I'm hearing behavior. Okay, so maybe there's what you're doing is finding ways to moderate, not moderate. Oh, guys, I'm stuck for words today. I wonder if this is something where you do struggle a little bit with, because it's kind of the energy that I'm in, where I'm not very, I feel like I know what I'm talking about and it's just hard to get it out a little bit. But then I also do feel like I'm getting pulled in different directions where it's like almost a little bit distracting, and that's kind of where it comes from, I think. And that would also be another reason why the grounding would be like really lovely for you. I do feel sort of called to mention ADHD, like the attention deficit disorder, and why the feeling I'm getting come through about it is that even though it's called ADHD or attention deficit disorder, it's not really about a deficit of attention. It's kind of like being plugged into a million way too many things. Like, you know, if you can imagine you have like an open window or tab on a computer, it's like you've got 50 tabs open and you're dialed into every single one, and you're kind of processing it all at the same time, but there's music on in the background, and there's a child asking for something, and there's chimes blowing in the wind, and your phone starts ringing, and you've got a funny sensation on your feet from the carpet or something like that, and it's just kind of a lot at once. And this is where it's really handy for us to try to be like mindful and present if we can, which is also another grounding practice. Okay, so being there in the moment, taking time to be still without the distractions, turn off screens, put you know, just if you can't do it in your house, if you don't have that level of discipline, or maybe you do have a house full of children running around, or you live with other people and it's a bit too hard, getting out in nature where there is nothing, put your phone on silent, turn it on airplane mode for a little bit if you need to, use your discretion in making that call. But I feel like it would be really good for you to take a step back and take a breath and just be, and just let yourself come back into your body in a safe, relaxed environment, and just be and just breathe. And it's really wonderful. And I feel like it's one of those practices that we never have enough time for, or we can have that frame of mind that we don't have the time for it. And as much as it's, you know, I've been going through this energy and I've been struggling to get words out here and there and getting distracted, I don't feel like this is slow energy. I feel like it's relatively quick energy, and I do wonder if you don't actually take that time to stop and sit down. And then, you know, there's the other side to it too. If you resonate with the ADHD stuff, maybe you are really on the go all the time, doing this, doing that, and you've got, you know, just a lot on, and a lot of interest, and a lot of competing priorities. And I mean, the ADHD thing doesn't have to resonate for everyone. It could just be like the energy that you're in at the moment, or maybe it is just that sense of like overwhelm. Yeah, it would just be good if you can take a little bit of quiet time to yourself to help ground it. And basically what I was trying to get through before was, it's just like really undervalued how fantastic being grounded or balanced is, and it just takes time. There's no cheat sheet way to do it. I mean, you can always use like Palo Santo as well. Like if you're clearing, maybe you choose to use the Palo Santo instead of sage, because it has, to me, more of a grounding feeling, and see how you go from there. But there's definitely like an expansion. They were saying behavior. I don't know if it's like a personality thing or if it's just a personal growth or development thing. I am going to read from the book on this card. So let's see. Oh, don't tell me. Where's the book? Bear with me one moment. I'm just going to check. I don't. Oh, here. Oh my God. This is like that being distracted, or like being a little bit like not paying attention because you're paying attention to something else. So, I resonate with this energy for any of you that are feeling this as well. It's okay. We'll just take our time. We'll get there. So Jupiter, maybe that's another thing. Maybe when you get a bit like this, you just need to have a little bit more compassion for yourself and a little bit more patience with yourself, okay? So that was sort of a message we were getting before about like things aren't going to happen overnight, and you don't always need to be rushing. It's okay to just do things and take as long as you need to, and it sort of gives me the feeling of going a little bit slower the first time round and trying to do something properly and paying attention to detail. And it would be the same as if we get like a flat pack piece of furniture. Read the instructions first. I understand how tempting it is to just not do that and just start building, but you know, it can be really helpful to do that, okay? Because so we don't miss key information. I do wonder if there is some sort of key information that you need to be really like paying attention to during this time. So like staying grounded and having a bit of downtime where you're not too distracted will help you retain anything that is really important. Okay, so for Jupiter, Jupiter is associated with the Roman god Jupiter, ruler of heaven and earth, thought of as a fair and just protector. Jupiter is often thought of as the planet of luck and expansion, the desire to understand the bigger picture, to prosper, and to experience joy are a big part of Jupiter's influence. Optimism, faith, and spirituality play roles in these issues. I just feel like you just haven't been having a good time, and that good time is probably where you're trying to get at and what will be coming in for you, but that process of expansion has to come first. Maybe you really enjoy the process, and if you don't or haven't so far, that in itself is like a wonderful message where there's a lot more to be said about the journey than just the destination, but that's something that, you know, we all need to learn that on our own, so on our own terms in our own time. Okay, so we're going to take another card from the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. There we go. Okay, we have abundance. Okay, so they're giving me reference to stepping into your power here is going to help essentially unlock this abundance. So stepping into your power will help you step into your abundance. I'm just hearing it's lots of growth and personal development here. So it's like an abundance of, growth and personal development. And which in turn may help with the physical material abundance as well, okay? Okay, so that's everything I've got for the cards. We're going to take one last message out of my little container of scrunched up pieces of paper. Okay. All right, so the message's intent isn't the same as a track record of action. So maybe there's been times in the past where we've really like wanted to do all these things and sort of thought to ourselves that we would, and we just never really followed through with action. Now's that time for action, okay? And I feel like the point about the track record will be something that, you know, that in itself will demonstrate volumes more to other people than what you trying to put on a display of demonstration, if that makes sense. So like the people around you will look at your track record of like, no, she's actually, or she, sorry, maybe you are a she, but I'm sure not everyone is. This person actually has a track record of being quite fair and quite just, but they do stand up for themselves when they need to, and they wouldn't do it without good cause. And people will learn your patterns over time, and they will trust you when you trust yourself. Okay. Yeah, you'll get there. You'll 100% get there. I feel like it's just making sure that you're backing it up with the follow through and taking action. So that's everything that I have for today's reading for you, Group 1. I hope that it was helpful in some way and that it resonated for you. You know, like, I would love to know about it if you're happy to share. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you all in another video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Okay, Group 2, welcome to your reading today. If you chose the Light Seers Tarot and the Lemurian Seeds Quartz, then this is your reading. Today's reading is just a channeled message from Spirit, so we'll just jump in and see how we go. If any of you, we'll start with the crystal. If any of you don't know what the Lemurian Seed Quartz is, there is a time spoken of, I believe, that predates Atlantis, called Lemuria, a place called Lemuria, and I believe it was populated with mermaids, and they had, whether they were mermaids or not, that's, you know, you can choose your own beliefs there, but they had crystals. So these ancient beings or people had crystals, and they actually stored information in the crystals, almost like an Akashic record type of thing. And it's said these Lemurian seed crystals have like a lot of striations that are quite usually pronounced or very defined on the outside. Sort of hoping I could get a side for you to see. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Today's lighting's terrible. The weather here is overcast and the lighting's a little bit too overwhelming at times, so we're going to steer clear of that. But you can always search on the internet what a Lemurian seed quartz or crystal is or looks like. Anyway, the mention of the striations or the lines on the side of it is that it's said that you can pop your fingernail onto one of the lines and you can meditate with it, and that you can actually receive the information or the record that was kept or stored on that crystal. So yeah, that might just be like an interesting fact for some of you there. Anyway, so we'll leave that. Otherwise, I should say that I do feel like it is quite high vibrational, but a little bit grounding at the same time. The other part of the Lemurian seed crystal information is that it was said that these crystals were just like left, I guess, basically after the civilization had ended. When people have come back to these areas later on in life, they've found these crystals maybe not at the normal depth of where you would actually find crystals. Like maybe they're only covered by a small amount of earth, where it was giving thought to the fact that there could have been people that had these crystals before and they had been left behind. They were like the remnants of the civilization. So alrighty. I hope everybody's doing really well today. We're not taking that many cards. I don't feel like we're intuitively guided for that. And when not taking reversals for this group either. I generally don't take reversals anyway unless I'm guided to. And for this reading today, we don't need to. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords. So I feel like this card can typically be just having walked away from something or being left with nothing, in a sense of time for moving on. Okay. Next up, we have the Judgment card, and this can also be that sense of only God can judge me, only Spirit or the universe sees who I truly am and can really judge me. You know, they see my inner being and everything that I am, and they see me as a full person in the world and everything I embody. I do get the sense we also have the Eight of Wands, and this card can sometimes be the enacting things too quickly. Maybe we haven't spent the time to really like look into things properly, and we are just trying to see what works. It can be impulsivity, using haste, not having all the information, acting quickly. Can be like really creative energy or really fiery energy. So sometimes I get the sense of maybe like shooting from the hip with this card, but I don't think that this is the case with this group here. Oh, it's something about everything that you do all at once. Maybe you do too much at once, or maybe you get to a point where you're trying to do a lot at once. There's that could be like a challenge on its own. Yeah, I get that sense that that is the challenge. Okay, cool. And then with the Five of Wands card that we have here, I don't get the feeling that this has anything to do with being in competition with anybody else or even yourself. Like it kind of, it gives me the sense of like you are competing with yourself in a way where you're trying to keep up with yourself and all the things that you've taken on. But you will overcome it, you'll get there, like you'll reach your goals and get to the top. So it might be trying to find an energy of sustaining more balance throughout this time. But then for some of you, like that quick thinking or quick enactment might actually really work for you. Yeah, I'm getting a strong message about there's something in the information that you need to know or that you don't know. And I feel like the information is in writing somewhere. So kind of easy to say that when we've got things like Google search engines on the internet these days, and where you can find almost anything written down. But I'm not sure what this is. For some of you, I feel like it's a separation, and the person that's also involved in the separation may have some sort of written information just laying around. I'm not sure if it is laying around, but I get the sense of this, I get the sense of it being like a hard copy of information. So some sort of paper or document or something like that. I'm not here to tell anyone to go snooping or anything like that. I don't believe that that's conducive to anything, or, you know, to me, we should always act with integrity, and I don't think going through another person's stuff is a way to do that. I sort of wonder if we're getting this message if someone's left something laying around. There's some sort of like key vital information that you need to know though. So use that with discretion. I wonder, maybe it's not even in the other person's belongings. Maybe it's information that you already have that you haven't actually read over properly, like you haven't taken the time to sit down and read through it, and you've just sort of jumped the gun on it, or and I feel like this information will help you win, or not even win, but just like come out on top. And it's not about like you versus them. It's just a case that you don't come out, like I get the sense you come out unscathed from the situation, if that makes sense. So it's like there's been a separation, spirit and the universe really know you, and I get the sense that it's like maybe we've made mistakes, but you've not necessarily done anything wrong in this reading, and that it won't be for everyone, but I feel like for the majority of this group that is the case. And where, I don't know, maybe for those of you that, even though you do know that maybe you've stepped out on the connection in some way, ultimately, like, you are at the mercy of like the universe. But it's not really like that, right? I don't even like using words like that, because it makes me think of like fear mongering with like Christianity ways of teaching and all of that. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about religion or politics or anything, but I guess what I was trying to say is that ultimately the universe knows you at your core, okay? And we're not here to talk about karma either. Okay. I do get the sense there that there is some sort of trying to do the right thing, okay? That's the important part. And maybe you've fallen down a couple of times to get to this point. I am getting a feeling of like being hurt and maybe a sense of abandonment from this Ten of Swords here, where it's like you're walking away from something that's done this to you. Getting the word like perpetuated. I don't really understand that, but hopefully you do. Oh, this is weird. This is not nice. I'm getting stuff about like perpetual victimization or perpetual blame or perpetual violence. Sorry to hear about that group too. It's I'm not getting the whole picture here or all the feelings at this point in time, but maybe that's something that would probably be too much at this point to go back into, or it would be too triggering for you. You might, obviously you're just trying to move on at this point from whatever it was. And so we don't really need to go into that. You know what you've been through, and that's that sort of sense here with the Judgment card of, you know what you've been through, the universe knows what you've been through, what you've had to experience, even if other people don't understand it. Just, it doesn't matter if they don't understand it. I know it's hard. Yeah, the universe knows. I feel like you get your peace and your happiness here. You end up coming out on top, okay? And if there's like anything we'd want to hear after situations like that, I think, I'm not here to really tell people what they want to hear. I'm here to pass on the messages. But I mean, if that's our message, then that's lovely, because it's, it is ultimately what we would want, right? Okay. That's, oh no, it's something else. I am getting something about unconditional love for yourself or self-love. So, yeah, I think you just need to be patient with yourself throughout this time, even if you are moving quickly. I do, I think this message about that information on the paper or wherever it's written down is, that's something it would be good if you can find it in a certain period of time. Like, I feel like it needs to be really quickly, actually. Like, I'm not here to scare people. This is just what I'm getting come through, right? So, always, we all have our own responsibility to, use our own discretion in our lives. Don't let somebody on the internet tell you how or what to do. You've got to make your own decision here. I'm getting a feeling though that like 2 weeks is too long of a time. Like, it needs to be really quick. Like, I wouldn't let it go past 2 weeks. This message about this some information being written down, that would be really good for you. I do wonder if this is more of like a specific message where like maybe it's really only like a quarter of the people or a third of the people in this reading that are going to like I think some of you are going to know. Some of you might actually just find this message in this time. That information, sorry, not the message. Okay, and parking that aside, so the people that, just for everybody else or everyone in general, I'm getting an element of like creative divine timing playing out here, okay? So it's like kind of taking that sense of, it's really bizarre, right? Because we get messages about, you know, having an element of like a window of time to find some piece of information in it, but then I'm also getting here that there's this creative divine timing playing out where you don't have to worry about, like, the universe is going to sort it out for you anyway. So I think those two different things are going to resonate for different people within the group. I don't feel like there's any way I can really define it any further. We just have to take that. Okay, so that's enough that I've got for the tarot. Like, I'm not getting anything else through at this point with that anymore. So we'll take an oracle card. We'll grab a card from the Soul Mirror Oracle. Let's go. So we have Unveiling with Clouded Radiant. What is that? I'm just getting a message of she sees in the dark. Again, it doesn't have to be gender focused here, or gender doesn't apply. She sees in the dark in her feminine while, so it's like that intuitive connection. And the moon's really important, so I wonder if you'll get more of that around the time of the moon. You'll get a stronger intuitive connection around certain times of the lunar phases. But I feel like that's a very personal journey for you, and that'll be something that you either need to be looking into at this point in time, or you'll know already, or maybe you'll randomly get the draw to go sit outside one night and you'll look up and see the moon, or maybe you'll just be meditating and then you'll realize it's a particular moon. Something, we're missing something here. Yeah, it's the night sky. You've definitely got to spend some sort of time looking at the moon. But it's like studying the moon, and it's not on this is not through a platform of studying the moon. It's not through things that are written. This is you developing your own sense of the moon. So maybe it would be helpful for you to keep a short journal or diary on the lunar phases and how you are at those times, and how the other people in your lives are at those times, and maybe like any bizarre events that happen around those times where like someone has, you know, a real strong change in their nature or character, but then maybe other bizarre events where someone has maybe like, I don't know, a car crash is a bad example because it's like, it's not meant to be like a negative or good or bad thing. It's just something out of the normal is what I'm trying to say. So maybe it's not a car crash, but maybe all of a sudden you get a phone call from a friend that you haven't seen for a long time or something like that. Either way, there's a strong message here for you to be looking into the lunar cycles and to be getting to know them for yourself, for what you think and feel they are, not the internet, not books, for you. It would also be helpful if you can talk to other people about it and see what they say, see if it lines up with what you say. It doesn't have to, because this journey is not a journey for everyone. This is a journey for you. So don't let the things that they say knock your confidence on what you learn during this time. If anything, it's really a case that you are developing this sense for yourself, and that for research purposes is good to hear what others have to say. Sometimes it'll align and sometimes it won't, and it might give you a shift in perspective where you still know what you know and you still trust what you like have learned, but it might tilt it a little bit, right? Like, instead of thinking, it's 180 degrees, like it might tilt it slightly and you might be like, oh, it's 183 or something like that. Like it just slightly, it will frame something very slightly different for you that might make more sense. Okay, so there's I know we can all be impatient and we don't all want to listen to like 20 different people tell us about the thing, to get through the 19 worth of maybe not helpful information to find the one that does. But the one that does is gold. Okay, so there's someone here you haven't spoken to about it yet, and you've just got to talk to everyone about it. All right, so yeah, okay, cool, we'll leave that. I feel like we've got the point across there. Or do we? God damn it. sorry guys, I don't mean to talk like that, but okay, you're not trusting your own intuition here, so you need to believe that there's like a chance that you have your own intuition, whether you understand it or not. You don't have to be a reader, you don't have to be some out there spiritual person. We all have a sense of intuition, and it really comes down to how much we use it, how much we lean into it, how much we nurture it, how much we practice, how quiet and still we can get at different times to allow that to come in. I don't feel like that's a problem for you though. I feel like you're a person that when you're given the space to, you're actually able to maybe tap in a little bit more quickly than what others, not even in comparison to other people, but just it's not a problem for you, okay? So maybe it's that call to, regardless of the moon, be checking into your own intuition at the same time, okay? So, all right, now I feel like that should be enough. I'm also getting something here about having like a clear vision, but I feel like it's this card is uncertainty, and like the two sides of it is either doubtful or confident, and at the moment you're in that doubtful energy, and you just really need to be like trusting your own clear vision, that you have clear vision. And clear vision is usually referred to as clairvoyance. So even if you're not physically seeing something in front of you, you may be seeing something in the mind's eye, whether it's through meditation, dreams, or almost like an imaginatory sense or feel. Yeah. Okay. Basically, this is going to build your confidence over time, okay? And that you need to trust and have confidence within yourself. It's just at the moment you're stuck in an energy of a lot of self-doubt, okay? And the only way it's going to get better is if you practice and trust yourself a bit. Go do things to give yourself a challenge or almost an exercise to see the outcome. Test yourself, okay? And see what happens. So, yeah, up here, like, it's weird because I get the sense of like a peer-reviewed journal, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I wonder if you're that sort of person that, like, I don't know if you have a scientific background, but just happen to be like, I guess, maybe you don't have to have studied science. You could just have keen interest in science, but maybe you're scientifically minded or something like that, or academically minded, where those things are of value to you. And for you to trust it, maybe it's like an exercise that you do is that you sit down and you record the details of your experiences, and you record the anecdotal stories of other people, and some sort of, I don't know if it's like a case study keeping thing, or there's something there for yourself so that you cannot, okay, this is what it is. So it's like you don't trust your intuition, and in the times when things happen and they are super profound and they blow you away, and you're like, there's no way that that's not intuition, or that's not real, like you can't deny it, okay? And so, but what happens is that, maybe it's been a little while, like 1 week goes by and it fades a little bit, and a month goes by and it fades a bit more, and 6 months, 3 or 6 months goes by, and all of a sudden it's like you sort of forget it a bit, or you like, maybe like time blurs our memory a little bit, and you just think, oh, maybe it was just wishful thinking, or maybe that wasn't really a sign, maybe it was just a coincidence. It's like you're downplaying or minimizing your experience and your intuition, but it was actually really keen and really clear, and it was exactly what it was. Like, it was intuition. And I don't I don't know if it's like you're in a state of denial here or if it's just the time and memory. For some of you, I feel like it's the memory, hey? But it's like, it's the memory, and I'm hearing combustion. So it's like the memory combined with the self-doubt is causing that combustion there. So that's why you need to record something in an academic manner. Like, keep a journal on it, right? So like, do your little tests and exercises, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better about it. It's black and white, you've got it written down, you've got details, it's recorded. Next time you're confused or you're doubting yourself, or maybe you still don't quite trust it yet, keep recording things, and you know, maybe in 3 months time you go back and you have a look through your book and you read through it and you're like, there's just like, you'll find coincidences between the different experiences as well. It won't just be one. You'll have, you know, links between the first experience and the third experience, and even to the point of maybe the fifth experience as well. There's something there that you need to look into to develop your own trust and lean into it. And I think it would really be good for you to be journaling in general. So I think at this point, what you could be doing is keeping a lunar journal, like I was mentioning, with your own experience of how you're feeling, maybe energetically or emotionally over that time, how the people are around you, how they're acting, and maybe any non-typical events that play out in that time, and you know, things like that. But then what they want you to do is also keep a normal journal, almost like a personal diary, where you just write about everything. Obviously it's good for a number of reasons, right? Like it's I think catharsis is a fantastic one, and helping us process emotions and getting more clear in our own thoughts and feelings than what we normally would be anyway. And I don't know, but then it's like, I think what they're saying here is that you'll be able to go back later on and compare the two, and there'll be things that you've written in your own personal journal that you didn't already in the lunar phase journal, that when you look back you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't see that when I was doing my lunar record keeping, that has actually played out as well. Okay, so this is that strong message of why we've got the Lemurian seed quartz here today, because it is about record keeping. Okay, and it's that sort of sense of, when we do look back at it, we can learn different things. Okay, so it's like, you might think through going through your experience that you're learning everything that there is to learn. It's not the case. You need this for reflective research purposes later on. Okay, so it's like case building, case studies. There's something here about a gathering information over time, with the track record thing, that is going to actually show you what happens. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Okay, that's everything that I'm getting here. So if you're not already keeping journals, please do. If you're not already keeping a lunar journal of your own, please do. Please don't rely on things like the internet or books for this situation. This is about developing your own intuition. Please do talk to other people about it for the sake of learning. Don't doubt yourself though. You need to give yourself exercises and little tests to build trust and confidence in your own intuition. Okay. All right, that's everything that I have for you today. Group 2, thank you for taking the time to be here with me and for yourself. I feel like this has been, even though, yeah, I feel like this has been quite important, and it probably carries more weight than what you realize, and it would be worthwhile entertaining this idea if you're not already. Okay. I wish you all the best. I hope that this resonated for you and was helpful in some way. Thank you. Welcome group 3. If you chose the Waite tarot and the Rhodochrosite, then this is your reading for today. Today's reading will just be a channeled message. I'm just quickly using some Palo Santo. I've been out and about in between doing the different groups, just the way that it plays out sometimes. So if you noticed a jump cut, that's why. But I thought it would be a nice way to quickly clean up any energy and sort of settle things down a bit before we get into it. So thank you for joining me today. Rhodochrosite, this is maybe not the best display piece necessarily, but is Rhodochrosite regardless, and it is beautiful. Rhodochrosite to me, it's kind of like an airy depth to things. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a little bit of unconditional love with like the upper heart chakra or higher heart chakra, but also being connected with the crown chakra as well. We'll put it to the side for the moment because that's all that seems to be like really relevant here. I'm just sort of getting like heartfelt and softer energies with it, and we'll just see if anything else comes up throughout the reading. You know, you can always have a bit of a look on the internet, search on the internet and see what you get come up for it. So oh, we're not doing any of that. That's what we want. So I'm just a little bit like clumsy with the cards at the moment. I want to get them to properly like jump out on their own, not just from me. The first card that we've got is a Page of Wands. We've also got the Empress. I feel like this is all you so far. It's not multiple people. Okay. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Let's see. So we've got the Page of Wands, the Empress, the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Guys, what's been going on? This is maybe not even what's been going on, it's something coming up. Let's see. Okay, so the Page of Wands here, I'm just getting some sort of energy of starting out in something, some sort of new endeavor here, or some sort of new journey that you're embarking on. I get the sense of maybe being not necessarily a novice, but you're just in like the beginning stages of whatever this journey is. But you naturally embody this energy of the Empress, okay? So it'll be... No, something else is here. Okay, so they're asking me, what is it about the Empress that makes her her? What is it about the Empress that makes her special? She's really comfortable and content. She's in her power. She has everything that she needs and wants. She looks after her own needs first. She will protect herself. She'll maintain boundaries. She'll establish boundaries where they're needed. She is also, I guess, in a sense, divine as well. And she's quite beautiful, and I guess there's an abundance in the way of like a wealth and prosperity, but there's also an abundance of wealth in fertility as well. And I'm just hearing like good times and good lands. Okay, so that's what we have for those two. I'm actually getting, for some of you, the energy of that sort of where you're at is, you know, being in that starting out energy, but, you know, also coming from a place of like good boundaries and fertility and being in your power. So maybe it's like you're starting out on something new at this point. But there's something here that there seems to be some sort of blindsightedness or like, what is it? Ruminating thoughts or something like that. There's something that's got you feeling stuck, and you're not sure how to get out of it at this point in time. I feel like you're afraid if you move the wrong way, you won't, yeah, this, oh no, that's different. Yeah, it's sort of, okay, it gives me the feeling of like a Two of Swords, where it's like, we know maybe we don't really have the best options, and we know that we're scared to make a move because if we move the wrong way, it can be really unfortunate outcomes for us. And when I look at this Eight of Swords card here, that's what I'm sort of thinking in my mind, is like, oh no, like if I move like any way at all, like you're just like almost scared of the outcome of any potential that could actually come up. Whereas the reality of the situation is that maybe it's not as dire, or it's not even that it's not as dire. It's like, I think you're going to end up being like luckier than you thought, or something's going to work in your favor, or you're sort of protected from certain things, or like basically nothing bad is going to happen the way that you think that it will at this point. So if you're able to find a way to get some perspective here, or the bigger picture, or some clarity, or maybe it's none of those things. Maybe it's that like sense of trust within the universe or within yourself that you can handle whatever it is that comes up, regardless of how it all plays out and all goes down. Then yeah, if you can change the way that you're looking at this, or that this appears, it would actually be really helpful for you so that you can move on from this stage. I don't feel like there is any real easy silver bullet fix here for where you're at. It's just a case of finding a different way of looking at things than what you currently have been. As soon as you're able to do that, you can take movement. There's something else here. I just feel like when you finally get going, that you don't want to be too hasty. Like, you want to take action, but you don't want to be too hasty. I think there might be more than one reading in this this particular group or pile here, so we'll keep going and see what we get, because I'm sort of wondering if, like, while you're blindsiding yourself, somebody else is trying to come in for you, and it maybe doesn't end the best. This is really confusing me. What is happening here? Okay, I'm just getting confirmation on that message about, you know, having clarity or paying attention to things, not being too sort of stuck in whatever this decision-making fatigue is, because it's distracting you from the things that are happening around you. And I do get the feeling that for some of you, a person will do things to perpetuate the cycle here to keep you distracted so that they can one-up you somehow. Essentially, at the end of all of this, yeah, I definitely get the feeling that a person would try to one-up you. I wonder if no, there's something I'm missing. I don't know. I just feel like at the end of whatever this is that plays out, that you have a lot of wisdom. Whether it's wisdom, like an innate wisdom, or a wisdom gained, it's still wisdom and it's still yours. And there's something else here. It's like lived experience. It's like, I do wonder if there's some sort of silver lining here that's like, you know, it's one of those like tumultuous things where it's like we learn some sort of lesson the hard way, but it ends up actually really serving us later on. I just get the feeling of like, no one's ever going to be able to come at you again, because you'll recognize it, right? I am getting an energy of naivety here for some people. Yeah, it's almost like, this doesn't make sense. There's something happening here that I don't understand. I'm going to grab another deck and try to clarify. Is there anything else before I grab this deck that we can look at? Okay, no, we need to do the clarifier, alright. Can we just do a whole row? Let's do the exact same. We just want the same message in the different tarot in the light series. Okay. Just like wanting some cards to sort of pop out or jump out here, but I don't know how much luck we're going to have. There we go. All right, so this one. I'm just sort of hoping that they can like tell the story in a different way here to what we've already got laid out, and just see what happens and what the difference is, and if it will elaborate or help build the information. There we got one more to go. There's like a lot of green here, and a lot of blue and yellow. So yeah, lots of heart stuff. And here we go, strength kill. Alrighty. So the Five of Pentacles it can be like that feeling of abandonment or being left out in the cold, having to fend for yourself, or not having like the basic needs met, I guess. There's a feeling of being on the outside here as well. I get the feeling for some of you that you've left some sort of situation here, and the unfortunate like repercussion of having stepped away from this situation is that you're now left in a place where you are really having to fend for yourself, and there's not like a lot of resources or anything around or anybody there to sort of help. So it's that kind of feeling where we, I don't know, maybe a trigger warning for people, but it's that feeling of knowing that no one's coming to save us. So I don't know if that resonates for you. And it's just a cause for like headaches and almost a depression in a sense, or even if it maybe not a depression, right? But we'll go like headaches, and it's stressful, and it's trying to think things through and trying to work them out and trying to problem solve and just not really coming up with any actual solutions. But it's all about the perspective. Okay, so we're getting that perspective again, so that's really good. All right. What is it here? I'm just getting that, like, if you can change the way that you look at it, it'll make everything else so much clearer, okay? So it'll make it easier for you. So I guess if you're already spending quite a bit of time, like, thinking about a situation, if you can try to think about it through different lenses, just even as a practice exercise, and then maybe through the exercise, something will be revealed to you that you actually hadn't accounted for at this point so far. Normally I actually like the energy of the Page of Cups, but it's like this, to me, it's the same person. It's like whoever this is that's coming in when you're not quite clear. I don't know, there's something else here. What is it we can't see? Oh, I'm getting that it's him, so it might not be him. Don't please make it gender specific. It's just that it's a male in the card that we're looking at. So this person is like looking one way and acting another, okay? So I get the feeling that the person looks like the Page of Cups, but they're actually not. They're actually the Knight of Swords here, okay? So, and I feel like the Knight of Swords is coming in to try to take something or try to achieve something. There's some sort of, yeah, okay. This, I wonder if this Page of Cups, Knight of Swords person here is going to pretend like you give off the Page of Cups energy where you're the one with some type of immaturity here, or maybe not even immaturity, but like you're the person with a lack of experience, or you're the person that's a little bit too airy-fairy, or you're the person that's a little bit too emotional or a little bit too sensitive. Like there's something here where they're going to try to say you're a little bit too this way, and it's like whatever this situation is actually really clear, and it's you just making it out to be something a little bit different than what it is and have lost sight somehow. They're going, like, I guess it comes from a way of, to me it seems like manipulation. Like they're going to try to tell you that you're not as grounded as you are in one way or another, and it's all about framing it a different way, okay? So that's why you need this good perception, because they're going to tell you something different. This is a time where you need to make up your own mind on how you think and feel about what's going on, so that when they try to tell you, like, no, I don't think you're right, it's this, you're just being too sensitive, like whatever that looks like, how it plays out at the time, you can know, no, do you know what, I don't agree. And if you find it really confusing, trust yourself with how you're feeling and take a chance on yourself. I really think you should take a chance on yourself. Look, I need to take a second to say, like, we all have that responsibility of discretion and discernment and owning our actions within our own lives. This is a message that's coming to you, obviously for a reason, right? Sometimes the reason's not always to take action, sometimes it's thought-provoking. And I would just only take this reading or this message as it resonates or applies to your situation. Don't try to make anything fit that doesn't. The other side of it is that, if you're really, really unsure of what to do, because I do get a sense that this could be like a confusing situation for you, hence the confusion and the lack of insight that we've had as we've gone through this reading, because I feel like I'm very much within your energy at this point in time, is that if it's, if it's a problem that you're faced with and you'd already thought about the different actions that you could take, and you think about, like, maybe the action you were leaning towards before this, it's like, I guess this video could end up being like confirmation for you or something like that, okay? At the end of the day, like, don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. And when you've got weird energy or people like this hanging around, I would always like caution you to be very careful. I already feel like you are anyway, but I also feel like maybe you've already caught on to something here as well. I don't know, it's weird, because if I'm telling you that there's something in the perspective that needs to change, or you need to take your blindfold off, then I feel like there's still something here that you haven't quite seen yet. So maybe something hasn't revealed itself to you just yet. They're saying no, it's just taking the time to like look at things for what they really are. That's all you can do, is look at things for what they are. Okay. And that, like, ultimately, even when other people do try to tell you, like, no, you're too sensitive, or no, that's not exactly how it played out, like, spirit and the universe, the divine, the mother, whoever it is, your higher self, God's deities, anything, like, anyone on the other side of the veil, they see everything, okay? So, like, there's no having to worry about, demonstrating things to the universe. The universe and everything in it sees us in our entirety as we are. You definitely don't need to demonstrate anything here. It's really best that you make an action you take action out of your own keen judgment, despite, you know, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to be a martyr or take a hit out of trying to display that you're doing the right thing. Like, the universe knows that you're trying to do the right thing, and it's really one of those situations where you are just going to have to be stronger than you wanted to have to be, or than you have needed to be so far. But I ultimately feel like you do have the strength to do this, and I do feel like you do have the wisdom, and you will come out on top. So there's actually like been a bit of a theme throughout all three groups today, is seems to be an overall message of coming out on top, but it's just that the challenges and the day-to-day look a little bit differently for everybody. I am getting a sense here that the strength, like, you definitely have more strength than what you realize you do, but there's almost a quality of, there's an abundance of strength or infinite strength. Like, you just don't even realize that you've got so much more strength than you do, that it's not something that can be taken away from you. Like, no matter what happens, you are going to get through this, and you've got it, right? You can do it. Okay, so we have a lot of green, which is usually like heart chakra. I do get a feeling of self-compassion here, but yeah, what's that? I feel called that I need to keep talking about, like, the universe sees you in your entirety, and the universe knows that your heart is like true or pure. Like, the universe understands your heart's intentions. You don't need to prove yourself here. There's still something here. I'm just hearing like it's okay for you to take your time to go within and see what comes out. Okay, that was, no, there's something else here. Okay, so I was getting pointed out that this castle here in the background is a little bit behind a hill, and that you've got to watch out because it's a little bit hidden. Like, you might not realize it's there or something, or you might forget that it's there. But I'm also getting a message here of it's okay not to worry about it, because, like, you can trust that you know the landscape by now. So as long as it gives me the sense of, as long as you don't forget, like, the lessons that you've had to learn, and you're taking stock of everything, that you will 100% be fine, because the wisdom that you've gained throughout this process has really set you up for, I guess, having good discernment and everything like that. Like, you should be able to actually spot it a mile away, or you know it's there without having to really look too hard or too far. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm also getting, I did get called to pull out this crystal for this reading as well. So this is supposed to be Amazonite. It does have similar colors to some of these cards as well. Yeah, Amazonite can be like throat chakra stuff, but for this particular reading, I feel like it's more about the heart. The only thing I can think of is it's like having to authentically lead and speak our truths from the heart. But it's just that, like, having compassion for ourselves, I think, is what this is about. I'm hearing having compassion for ourselves and others, even if we don't want to. I mean, take that as it resonates, right? Don't make it fit. Okay, what else is there? No. All right, so I want to take, oh no, we've missed something. Okay, yeah, that's everything I've got for the tarot cards. So we're going to grab an oracle card using the Goddesses and Sirens deck. There we go. That was easy. We have home. I wonder for some of you if it's your home that you're leaving, or if it's your home that's been a place that's not felt particularly safe, or maybe you're coming home or finding home. Yeah, this. Okay. We're also going to take one of the Barbier Zodiac cards. I don't know about how you feel, but during this reading I do feel at different times some different feelings, where one moment I sort of feel a bit scattered, other moments I feel quite clear. Sometimes I've been feeling a little bit confused, now I'm sort of feeling a little bit tired. I do think that this whole situation would just be, I'm getting the word strenuous, like, yeah. Okay. So we have Gemini and Neptune. For the Gemini card, I'm getting that this card isn't really about Gemini or air at all. It's about a twin. I don't know almost anything about twin flame stuff or karmic twin stuff or anything like that. If this, something about twins in general may resonate for you. I'm getting something about that, like birds of a feather flock together. And so even if you and this person are very different, you look the same. Yeah. Okay. And then there's that emphasis too of like a shark underwater, which makes me think of that person that's trying to take advantage of you being a little bit too caught up in whatever's going on. Okay, is there anything else here? Alright, that's everything that I've got for the cards. So what we're going to do is take one of these messages. The message that I've got is, please don't ever take me for granted, but I feel like this is a message to the self. Yeah, please don't ever take me for granted. I get a very obvious energy here of having been taken advantage of, or someone trying to take advantage of in this situation. So I'm sorry to hear. I just hope that something here is kind of helpful for you. I am getting something about there's not really much you can do here about this situation other than just to keep going. Yeah. I'm also having pointed out that the Gemini is card number 3. Maybe it's third in the houses, I'm not sure. Not the houses, in the zodiac. But with Neptune we have 2 and 1, which would reduce to 3 as well. And I guess 3 is a master number, so it's either life path number 3 or the master number 33. Yeah. I am getting something else here about it's like you're fighting to come back home to yourself. Maybe just fighting for like a time of peace or restoration. Fighting for something that's yours, or fighting for a place you can call your own, or fighting for your home to be, peaceful, something like that. And then with this Judgment card, I'm just getting another message here of only God can judge me. It's almost like I wear my heart on my sleeve, I lay my heart out on the table. I'm just trying to show and demonstrate, and at the end of the day, only God can judge me. Or, you know, only Spirit can judge me, something like that. Okay, that's everything that I'm getting. What is this? I feel like this energy is funny. It's like, I think I'm done with the reading and then something else is popping up later on. So like, I wonder if that's another thing with this person that, you know, you're sort of, I don't know if you've had much of a history of dealing with them before, but I get the sense of you feel like you do start to move on, or you've managed to somehow get away from them, and they just sort of keep popping up every now and then. Like, you think you're done with this stage or this time in life or this person, and then all of a sudden it's back. And you just, I think you've done really well, like phenomenally really well here, and you just need to keep going. There's also something here with this mask, like she's got the bandage over her eyes, and it's like she's at this point in time she's refusing to take the mask off. I'm just getting, if she could just take it off, she could see. What is it that she's not seeing? We're just going to try taking another card on what it is that you're not seeing, and see if we can like elaborate on it. I feel like, I'm glad we took the clarifying cards, but it's still just like not quite. Jesus, I'm dropping everything. Yeah. I'm not taking it. Okay. I've got to say as well, throughout this reading, I can't tell what's your energy and what is like a choppiness throughout. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Swords again, so there's definite reiteration there, where I guess this Eight of Swords is different. You can see that in the mirror she is feeling bound and has, like, you know, she's been tied up and her wrists are bound, her eyes are covered, and there's like no escape, and all this stuff is happening around her. But in reality, she's only sitting in front of a mirror and she's totally free. I think there's definitely something here to not realizing the level of freedom that we have. Maybe we think our situation's worse than it is, or maybe, maybe we feel like there's so much going on that is overwhelming us, that it is kind of too hard, and it comes from a place of when we're overwhelmed, it's going to be hard to like really have clear perspective anyway. So if you can, it's that perspective, if you can find a way to get some clear perspective, would be really helpful for you, okay? I do feel like this reading's definitely highlighting that for you, but there's got to be a way that, something you can do to help yourself. This is almost exhausting, hey, trying to go through and read this. I think the other side of it is like, are you exhausting, like ruminating thoughts or something like that? Or is this whole process of trying to work out what's going on, I feel like it's like problem solving that's not going anywhere. Maybe you need to take a break from this problem solving for a little bit. Maybe if you can, if it's possible, where it is possible for you, take a little bit of time to like try to have some fun or to rest, like maybe both. If there's a way that you can have fun and rest at the same time, it would be lovely. Because it might be just enough to give you a break or a bit of reprieve that you can sort of come back and try again later, and you'll have that fresh perspective because you've had a break and you've, you know, done something a little bit fun to take your mind off of what's going on. I do feel really exhausted from the energy in this reading, and I guess no wonder why if there's some funny stuff going on. But it's that thing of you know, even when we're exhausted, we just have to keep going, and you can keep going, and yeah, you've got this, like, you can do it. Okay. We also had the Tower card come out with it, and it's essentially that false foundation. So if we can clear away whatever that foundation is that's setting us up for these ruminating thoughts or this perception that's not helping us, then, you know, it'll be really helpful. This Tower card, I do get a sense of it's your own tower, and you need to be the one to choose to knock it down and start again. Even though you have someone else that's going to come in and try to, you know, take advantage of whatever situation you have, or maybe they are, like I did for some of you, get the sense that they felt like they were, you know, trying to come in to take something, but you know, and that if that does end up happening, you'll be fine throughout all of it, even though I feel like you'll definitely take a hit from it. At the end of the day, you'll still gain that perspective and the wisdom, and you'll have learnt anyway. I guess it's essentially like two possible outcomes here. And the other one is that you can recognize your own faulty foundation that hasn't been serving you well, and let it crumble, let it go, and try to start from scratch, where there's some sort of, I don't know how you're going to do it, but this is the thing. They're saying that at this point you just need to realize that you're doing it. So I do wonder, for some of you, I know sometimes, like, even when I watch pick a cards myself, if I'm not in the right frame of mind, or my vibration is too different from the reader I'm watching, it's not helpful for me to watch the reading at that point in time, and I need to sort of go away and come back a few days later or a week later, and then I can watch it again, and it makes more sense to me. Regardless of that, I do sort of wonder if this message is going to be one that just isn't nice to hear for some of you, and even if it's not nice to hear, sometimes it's one of those things that we're like, I guess I've had readings like this before where I'm certain, I'm like, no, my foundations are fine, and no, my situation really is dire, and it is, I guess, cutthroat, and things could really go wrong here if I make the wrong move. And I don't know why are we struggling to get this out? What can we do? What's going to be helpful for the viewer? They just keep bringing me back to the perspective, okay? So I don't know if there's another way at this point that I can continue to point out the perspective without something changing in your world. Usually when they get me to continuously talk about something, it's because the message hasn't really been taken on board, or they're trying to highlight how important it is, so that when you leave this reading, like, you might be totally listening and totally on board, but they're trying to get me to make a big deal out of it, so that when you go away, it like jogs your memory, or you think about it, or you take some sort of action out of it, or there's some sort of like outcome that's not being reached at this stage. It's the perception. They might just be trying to really make you think about it. It's definitely the perception. For some of you, I wonder if you have people around you sort of saying things to like get you off kilter, or to get you to almost bluff you a little bit, or to not scare you, but like just plant a seed of doubt, or plant a seed of worry. And I wonder if it actually does really affect you. I think this is what it might be. If you might have people around you that are trying to plant seeds of doubt, or they're trying to scare you a little bit in some way, or just get you to worry, because maybe you have lived in anxiety before this time, and they know it's almost a way that maybe they can get you to be, I guess, maybe when this happens, it takes up all your time and energy, okay? And then you're not really clear, and then you're not looking around you at what's going on, because you've got so much going on the inside, okay? And I feel like this is something that I don't know if it's a person or multiple people. I feel like maybe for some of you it's multiple people. It's almost like someone's trying to mess with you. Okay, I think, like, we did do the Palo Santo at the start anyway. If any of you have obsidian, it would be really wonderful if you could go and meditate with some obsidian straight after this, where you're asking it to protect you, and by meditating and working with this crystal, you'll start to embody some of the energy of it just to help with protection. If you can carry it around on you, would be lovely as well. Other things that we can do, there's, I guess, when we want to protect ourselves, you know, there's more than one way of achieving the same goal, and everyone will have their own specific different things that they do that are helpful for them. You know, not everything's going to work for everyone, but it's worth a try, right? So other things that you can do to protect yourself, you can do things where you get, say if you have 4 of the same type of object, and bless them in whatever way that you are drawn to, and put one in each corner of your property or your house or your room, like your bedroom, or if you can, like if you live in a house on your own, go to the corners of the yard or the house or something like that, and put these items in them that have been blessed, and envision pushing out a big energetic dome or a dome of white light or something like that up over or around or encompassing the house or wherever it is that you live, to protect you and push anything that's there out of the field, and to I guess keep anything else from coming in. And you might have to do this stuff every day for a little while, until you feel things sort of calm down or cool down a little bit. There are, you know, you can do things like you can ask Archangel Michael if he can help, like, clear your field and protect you and things like that. You know, outside we've got smoky quartz today, and I was going to mention it earlier in the reading, and I was like, no, I don't think it's relevant, but I think it is. Smoky quartz can be protective as well. I guess with smoky quartz, it can tend to absorb a lot of negative energy, so that it does transmute, but I guess because it's something taking in quite a lot of negativity, it does still help for you to actually cleanse it really regularly, right? I wouldn't just like have it on me after, you know, dealing with some hectic energy for a day or two and then just leaving it on me. I would take it off and clear it or cleanse it and start again, just so that you know that it's doing its job. But they're quite protective energies anyway. All right, so I'm sure there's like a bunch of other things that you can do as well, but when you're looking at protecting yourself, there's other things that you have to do. Like, you do have to ground yourself. And okay, let's set out a plan. So I'm not sure. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is do your protective exercise, and then I want you to go and cleanse yourself. And I would normally ask you to cleanse yourself first, but I feel like whatever this is will probably come in really quickly again. So I want you to do some sort of exercise to help protect yourself. You know, I'm getting another one coming through where it's kind of like a cleansing protection thing at the same time. I guess you can do saltwater baths, like Epsom salt baths and things, to help cleanse your energy, but you can actually put salt in a glass. Whether you put water in it or not, it's up to you. I use water, and put a glass of salt water in like each corner of the house. You know, obviously if you've got animals and kids and stuff, you can put it up high or out of reach or something like that. I'm also, it's not something I've ever done or have ever tested, but I'm seeing what you see in the movies where people get the salt and they make like full lines of perimeters of things, or like they put the salt in front of like doorways and windows and stuff like that to stop things coming in, to sort of maintain the purity of the energy within the house or the home or the room or whatever. Okay, so we've talked about protecting. We've started to touch on cleansing energy. You know, energy healing can be great for clearing energy. you can smudge using like your sage or Palo Santo. So I've got some sage, and then Palo Santo was what I was using at the start. It's just a wood. But I don't know, you can also, yeah, I think that's enough for the clearing. Okay. But grounding, it's important to stay grounded because it'll make it easier for you to protect yourself. It'll make it harder for other things to come in. So if you can ground yourself, spending time outdoors, connecting with nature, doing things that are good for you, it can go as far as eating good foods and taking rest when it's needed, and like even little things, like it's not things that this is not what I typically think of with grounding, but if you are sick or if you have a health concern, go to the doctor or go seek out the appropriate professional medical help that you need to help yourself, okay? Yeah, but otherwise, back to grounding, typically you can go hug trees if you want, you can sit on the dirt, you can meditate. Sometimes meditations just on its own is really grounding. You can wear colors that are representative of the colors of the earth, and that will help ground you, or you can work with crystals that are representative of the color of the earth, and they're typically grounding as well, okay? But obsidian is protective and grounding. Smoky quartz, this heart here, is protective and grounding. They would both be a couple of good ones if you're into crystals or already own some. I try to be mindful to not just give everyone examples of like just if you need crystals, but if you've got them and you work with them and that's something that works well for you, then I like to put that out there so that people can do that as well. Hematite is also another good one. I actually have a piece here. This hematite's worn down. It can have like a metal chrome looking finish on it usually. But it's really lovely. It's really grounding and protective as well. So there's a few good things there that you can do to try to help yourself. But I just feel like really looking after your energy at this point in time is going to be really, I want to say critical. You know, another thing that you can do is like when you have a shower, you can turn the shower on and the water comes out. Just in your mind's eye, visualize that the water that comes out is like full of white light, and that when you shower it like washes over you and radiates all the white light, and it washes anything off you that isn't yours or doesn't serve you, or anything negative, I guess, in any sense, in any kind, just to help clear your energy. You can even do things like just when you wash your hands, like maybe it's not a go-to to help clear your energy, but it might help you throughout the day. If you go to wash your hands, you can envision the white light in the water coming out of the tap, flowing onto your hands so that you wash them, and anything unwanted goes down the drain, okay? Is there anything else here? The smoky quartz, we've got to talk more about it. What are we going to talk about? They're saying that it's okay for you to have things in your heart and know that they're not yours. So I wonder if this group is a little bit empathic, where you sort of pick up other people's feelings as well. And it can be really hard to discern our own feelings from other people's feelings. This would be something that if I don't try to make it fit, if it doesn't sound like, you know, a path that you're already on or something that applies to you. But there's a very real potential that something like that weirdly could be playing out here as well. Okay, that's enough. That was a very specific message, only for a number of people. That won't be for everyone here, so that's enough. But guys, that's everything that I have for today's reading for group 3. I hope that you're all okay. I hope that you find, you know, good ways that you can look after yourself in this meantime, and you know that you can do it. Spirit says that you can do it, that you'll come out on top here, and you'll come out a lot wiser and a lot stronger for whatever goes on, and that you know, maybe hopefully you've come out of it with some tools that they might be helpful for you at this time. And you know, I hope that the readings resonate for you, that they do make sense to you ultimately. That's what we want. I'm not really a fan of just putting something out there that's really vague and hoping that it fits most people. Although, like, you know, I don't really wish these sorts of readings on anyone either. So sorry that you're going through a hard time at the moment, but I think you know you can do it, you can get through it, and you'll do all right. So anyway, blessings everybody, best of luck to you all. Thanks for joining me today, and again, I hope it resonated or was helpful in some way, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye.